Have you ever noticed that when people are having a heated discussion, whether it's about a controversial topic or an argument of some kind, they talk louder and repeat themselves? In these situations, I think it's not uncommon for both people to talk at the same time as they both become more and more frustrated and agitated. Today, I would like to take a closer look at this phenomena, discuss a relatively simple principle, and share a 5-step process with you that you can use to de-escalate conflict. This same process can be used to help you to be more effective at influencing others. This video is not a complete conflict resolution tutorial. Rather, it's an opportunity to look at one of the root causes of conflict and to give you some basic tools you can start using right away that will enable you to de-escalate conflict and in many cases resolve it, while also helping you to develop your leadership skills. Please check out future videos to learn more about conflict resolution. My name is Dave Rubin of Transform and Impact, helping you to learn communication and leadership skills to empower you to transform your life and have a big impact by stepping into your role as an inspirational, transformational leader. I believe the scenario I described earlier touches upon an epidemic in our culture that leads to a great deal of conflict and pain. And I believe that understanding the epidemic and the cure will allow us not only to resolve conflicts, but also to be much more effective at influencing others. We are not hearing each other. We have an epidemic of not listening, or at least the kind of listening that allows for peace, deeper connection, and a chance for communication to progress. You see, I believe that we humans share a universal need for empathy and to be heard. And when we humans have something to express, it is difficult to focus on anything else. And it is especially difficult to hear what someone else is expressing. This may be especially true in situations of conflict or when we have an opinion on a topic that we are passionate about. When we express ourselves and perceive we are not being heard in these situations, many more needs are likely to come up for us. Universal human needs such as for trust, for mutuality, for respect, to be seen, to be valued, and more. And when so many needs come up for us at the same time, we may experience an overwhelming emotional response. As our emotional brain becomes more activated, the part of our brain that is capable of rational thought has limited control. So our ability to connect and be present with the other person becomes more limited, leading to deeper conflict. In a moment, I will suggest how we can use this understanding to de-escalate conflict and to debate issues in a way in which both parties hear each other. But before we do, let's consider why this is important to managers, activists, and other leaders. First, to be effective as leaders, we need to work together. We will at times have conflict with those we work with, whether they are co-workers, those we report to, or those who report to us. If a conflict takes a long time to resolve, or worse, if it is never resolved, it can result in a long-term or permanent loss of rapport and trust. In such situations, people may work against us. If we are in a position of authority, the person with whom we have an unresolved conflict may actively work against our goals or the goals of the organization. We can collaborate so much more effectively if we have the tools and awareness we need to de-escalate and resolve conflict. If we use these tools, we can actually build trust and rapport and increase the level of cooperation and dramatically improve collaboration. Second, I believe peace is something we all value for its own sake. When we don't have peace, we experience stress and it is much more difficult to focus on any task. To the extent we can prevent or de-escalate conflict, we will have more peace. Lastly, we can be more effective leaders if we can be more effective at influencing others. When people truly hear our perspective, they are more likely to change their opinions, strategies, or lifestyle choices. So, what can we do about it? I think we're already taking the first step, which is to become aware of the phenomena. Next, we can set our attention to use the following 5-part process when we find ourselves in the midst of a conflict or controversial discussion. Before we go into the 5-step process, I would like to request your support in helping this channel to grow and enabling as many people as possible to get value from this video. My request is, if you find value in this video, to please click or tap the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to be notified when a new video of ours comes out, please click the bell icon. Alright, now the 5-step process I promised. First, notice when you're in a discussion in which neither party is hearing the other or in which fiery emotions are escalating. To help you to take note of when this is happening, the following questions may help. Are you listening, or are you mostly waiting to talk? Are you feeling frustrated or agitated or other unpleasant emotions? Are you repeating yourself? Does it appear to you that the other person is becoming emotionally stimulated? Is he or she repeating him or herself? Step 2. Once you notice you're in the midst of a discussion in which neither party is able to hear the other, focus your attention on what the other person is saying, if you're able to. If you find that you yourself are too stimulated to be able to do this, I recommend excusing yourself from the conversation until you can become present. You can take that time to notice what you're feeling and wanting so that you can be better able to focus and listen when you return. So when you think you're in a space to be able to hear the other person, return to the conversation. It's my perspective that this strategy of taking a break when neither party is capable of hearing the other is one of the most effective to help de-escalate conflict, and it is one of the easiest to implement. Step 3. Let the other person talk while you listen. Connect and become curious. Make it clear that you are listening to what the other person is saying. You can do this by reflecting back what you heard the other person say, by saying yes or I get it when you have a sense that you've really connected with what the other person is expressing, or by asking questions that come from genuine curiosity. If you choose to reflect back what you heard the other person say, I suggest, instead of simply re-saying the same words, saying it in a way that really connects with the feelings, needs, and values of the other person. I will go into more detail about how to do this in future videos. Step 4. When you have a sense that the other person's need to be heard is well met and that he or she can be present for what you have to say, share your perspective. To help ensure that the person is really in a space to hear you, you might consider asking for permission first. For example, you can ask, would you like to hear my thoughts on the matter? Or would it be okay to share with you how this situation has affected me? As you share your feelings, wishes, and perspectives, to help make sure that your message is coming through as intended, consider asking the other person to reflect back what he or she heard you say. However, be careful when you do this, because if you're not careful, it could come across as condescending. So I suggest making your intention clear. You might say, I just want to make sure that I'm expressing myself clearly. Would you be willing to tell me what you heard me say? Put this way, it would be less likely that the person would hear that you think they're not smart enough to understand what you're saying, or think that you're trying to test them to see if they were really listening. Step 5. Make a request. Once you heard what the other person is wanting and you've shared what you want or your perspective on the situation, make a request that takes both of your needs into consideration. To help demonstrate that you are making a request, you might use a phrase like, would you be willing to? Or how would it be for you if? And when making a request, it's important to be ready to accept a yes or a no. For example, let's say you and your roommate are having a conflict over her playing the guitar late at night when you are trying to sleep. You use parts 1 through 4 of the process, and you discovered that she really just needs to relax and unwind when she comes home, and that playing the guitar is the most effective way she knows to do that. You've shared that you really need quiet to support your 10 p.m. bedtime so that you can wake up fresh early in the morning. In this case, you might request that if she's going to play the guitar after 10 p.m., that she do so on the front porch instead of in the house. This request takes both of your needs into consideration. So that's the 5-part process. In case you would like to be able to refer to this process without needing to rewatch this entire video, I will attach a link to a PDF file in the description below. So, can you think of a time in your life where this process might have helped you? If so, I invite you to share about it in the comment section below. Thank you for hearing what I had to share with you today, and if you decide to implement these techniques, I invite you to be patient with yourself because it takes time to develop new habits. If you found value in this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I look forward to supporting you with my next video.